Hey everybody, my name is Belinda Wasser, also known as Rocket Girl, and today's Rocket Girl Show is all about how to schedule meetings more easily. As a virtual assistant, I spend quite a bit of time scheduling meetings for my clients. And while in the beginning I thought this is going to be a piece of cake, what I realized quickly was that I needed some really good systems to support this so that I didn't make mistakes and could do it efficiently. So today I'm going to talk to you about my system for scheduling complicated meetings, and tons of them at one time. All right, so here we go. All right, there's 3 tools that I use, and I'm going to go into detail about each one in just a moment. So the first one is called Time Zone Converter, and you can find that at timeanddate.com. Very useful. I'll show you to you in a second. The second is Google Directions, and the third is Google Sheets. So let me just step you through the process. So my client sends me an email and says, hey, Belinda, can you schedule a meeting with me and John and Mary? This is where their time zones are. And I say, okay. So the first thing I do is I go over to Time Zone Converter, that's hard to say, Time Zone Converter, and I figure out who's where. And one of the things I want to tell you about Time Zone Converter, which is very important, is notice right here, it says observing, can you see this right here? Yeah, observing daylight savings time down at the bottom. The reason that this is important is because if the date is set, let's say for February, and you're scheduling, when I say date, I mean right here where it shows you the date. If the date says February and you're scheduling a meeting for March, it's highly possible that the time zone, that the daylight savings time has been, enacted, turned on, and the times are going to be wrong, especially if someone's in Arizona or overseas. They don't necessarily overseas think about that, right? So make sure that the dates are right. So once you line that up and you're looking at your client schedule, you can start to craft your email about when they'll be available. The next thing is, if the meeting is on the phone or using Zoom, I don't need this. However, there have been times recently where my client is in a different state and he's visiting various clients of his, and I need to figure out the drive time in between, or the public transportation time, depending on the city where he is going. So one of the things that I do is I put the times in, not the times, I do put the time, I put the addresses where he's going to be and where he's going and the time of day. See where it says right here, it says leave now. So what you want to do is put the time of day, because if you're in LA at 7 o'clock in the morning, it looks very different than lunchtime, right? So you want to make sure that you allow for plenty of time. Sometimes the difference can be 20 minutes or more. So that's really critical too. These are all free tools, by the way. Okay, now this is probably not going to be intuitive for you. And so absolutely, I send the email, I make sure all the times line up with my client's calendar, but then I put notes here. And the reason that I do this is so that I can track. If you can imagine, for one client, there might be 15 people that I'm trying to schedule, in a given period of time, and email is not a good place to manage that. So in the date column, I type in the date of the last contact. Sometimes I have to contact people 2 or 3 times before they email me back. So that way I can always keep track of when the last email went out. Then I have the person's name, and then any notes. So I don't have to search through my email and try to figure it out. So maybe their assistant's name, or their location, or that the meeting's going to be with 3 or 4 people. So all of that goes there. Once they agree to the meeting, it goes on my client's calendar, and then it's moved from the right-hand side over here where it says date and time, or date, name, and notes, over to upcoming meetings and calls. And even though it's on his calendar, the reason I do that is it's not uncommon for someone to want to reschedule. So instead of searching through, it could be months to find exactly where that meeting is, I can just scan down this upcoming meeting and calls list and see what date the meeting is. Also, I keep my notes there as well, because if they want to reschedule and I need to know what their assistant's name is or that they're in Chicago, that information travels with the name over into that other column. So this is my system for scheduling meetings, and I've been doing it for years and years and years, and I find that this really helps keep things straight, especially when you might have a lot of meetings to schedule a time. I also do this for my coach clients because they'll have to keep track of the number of sessions. So I'll keep a spreadsheet like this as well for each coaching client and the dates of their sessions, so that I know exactly where they are and I don't have to search the calendar. So, all right, I'm going to see if there's any questions and comments. And while I do that, I just want to take a minute and tell you about my free online classroom. It's on Facebook, and it's called the Virtual Assistant Connection. And right now, we are just about to hit 1,700 members. It's growing very quickly. There's lots and lots of interest in being a virtual assistant at this time. And we are a community together, helping each other with our businesses, whether some of our members are just thinking about being VAs, some have been a VA for a while, and like me, I've been one for 9 years, and all the different places in between. So it's a lovely community. There's a couple ways to find us. One is by typing in the Virtual Assistant Connection in the search bar at the top of Facebook, and the other is by following this bit.ly link, bit.ly.vaconnection.com. So I invite you to come join us. We'd love to have you. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'm Belinda Wasser, Rocket Girl, signing off. Until next time. Bye-bye.